basically, it comes down to breaking it. It's better to break it down by generations when discussing hip hop culture to have a better understanding.
Let me ask you a question. Wouldn't it be fair, instead of talking about, to ask Soulja Boy who's your top 10 rappers?
Right.
And he know nothing about the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Right.
So why shouldn't it be broken down from the first generation, from 73 to 83, 83 to 93, 93 to 2003, 2003, 2013, every 10 years? You can't put Melly Mel, Kaz, and Kool Moe Dee in a conversation with rappers 10 years later. It's not fair because a lot of people that's having this discussion don't even know shit about them. But
that would solve a lot of these debates.
Even the NBA should break it down. They should break it down 25 years, such as 75 to first 25, second 25, third 25, because George Mikan is not going to be discussed. He's amongst. You have to be Bill Russell to talk about George Mikan.
Right.
Okay. You got people like what's his name, Shannon Sharp. He said, "I've never seen Oscar Robertson play." Okay, I seen the Big O. I seen Jerry West and Gail Goodrich, who don't even get mentioned. Nate Archibald from my project led the NBA in assists and scoring.
Yeah. Yep.
So when you want to go back to the 70s, if you was born in the 70s, how can you talk about the 70s?
You can't. Yeah, you're right.
I can only go as far back as the 60s in basketball. I can't go back to the 50s. I can go 63, 64, the early Knicks, before Walt Frazier got there and all that. I mean, I can't go back to 1961, 62. I was 4 or 5 years old. And I can't go back to the 50s. But I could look at the 50s and understand it because it's just only 10 years prior to. I can look at 48. If I was born in 58, I could look at stuff from 48 because it's only 10 years prior.
Right.
Being born. Ain't but so much change in 10 years. Or even if it's 50, even if I was 5 in 63 and something came out in 1950.
The influence is still there. It's still close enough. Yeah.
It's still a lot of things there. You know? The Little Rascals, Courageous Cat, Minute Mouse, and all this stuff. Ain't much change.
Yeah.
I done lived through Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Kennedys, the Superfly, Black Exploitation era, the coke, the heroin, the dope, the crack, the smack, the Oxycontin, my idols, Walt Frazier, Dr. Dre, Dr. J, Michael Jordan, LeBron for a minute, Kobe, Wilt Chamberlain. You know, like, come on.
Right.
You got rappers today that only live 23 years. They're 23 years old. They only really live 10 years of their life of knowing shit. So how can you ask a 23-year-old what's your top 10 rapper? And basically, he only probably got the music when he was like 13. So he's 23. So you expect for him to go back to go, or Method Man, or Redman, and all, I like Scarface. No, they don't know shit. So we need to learn to break it down to categories, generations.
I agree.
That's it. The only reason why the NBA should do 25 because the NBA is an organization and things are well marketed where, you know, it's there. But when you start talking hip hop, you need to break everything down into generations. You can't put, it's an assault that Melly Mel don't get mentioned by Eminem.
Right.
He may know of Melly Mel, but he don't know Melly Mel or Kaz, or you don't know unless you study rhymes. So everything's by generations. You got to go by generations with everything you do. Just can't just go flat out and ask 49 years of hip hop names the 10 rappers. Come on, it's impossible.
Right.
What's up, y'all? This is the legendary DJ Frankie Cutlass, Mr. Puerto Rico, and you tune in to Changing of the Hip Hop Guard. Let's go.